What's up, everyone? I am Wendy Fortino here with Maximum Muscle Report. I'm here at Metroflex Oceanside and I'm training my shoulders. I'm going to show you how to create 3D delts. So 3D shoulders. In order to do that, we have to train all three heads, the anterior, the medial, and the posterior heads of the delts. I have a couple tricks up my sleeve that I want to let you guys in on, and so come join me and enjoy the show. Let's start out by just going over the deltoid muscle. It's a rounded triangular muscle that's located on the upper part of the arm and the top of the shoulder. It's actually named after the Greek letter delta, which is shaped like an equilateral triangle. I'm going to start by going over a basic exercise movement pattern for the anterior deltoids. The anterior deltoid is responsible for shoulder flexion, lifting your arm up and to the front of your body. So here we have a basic front raise. And with this movement, I want to point out a few key things that will enable maximum activation. Number one, a slight tilt forward. Full activation in the core. You want to make sure your core is fully on, neutral spine in the neck, shoulders, you try to pull them back and down away from the ears. This is going to enable maximum tension at the bottom of the movement. So when you reach the top of the movement, we want to keep the neutral spine intact, okay? Might look like I'm leaning down with my head, but actually I'm keeping that neutral spine, shoulders back, core engaged. Again, maximum engagement in the anterior delts with this stance and with this body position. All right, let's add intensity to this movement. I add intensity by putting this movement at an incline. This way we have even more tension at the bottom, okay? That extra tension is going to put a little bit of tension into the pectorals as well. So we have a little bit of chest and a really intense engagement in the anterior deltoids. And again, we want that incline position. Here we are at the top of the range, keeping the head back, keeping the shoulders back, and just pulling all the way through, palms facing down, and bringing that all the way up to the top until you feel the engagement turn off. You don't want to go too far up. There is that point where if you feel the engagement turn off, you want to stop the range there. Switching gears to the lateral deltoids, due to their proximity to the other deltoid muscles, the lateral deltoid is used in nearly all shoulder exercises. Here we have a standing lateral raise. This is one of the best basic movement patterns you could possibly do for the lateral head of your deltoids. I want to point out again that we want to have a slight tilt in the body, okay? There's kind of a little bit of a V shape, but I consider this straight up still. All in the core, and here you will have as much engagement as possible at the bottom of the range. And then when you hit the top, we want to keep the elbows up. Make sure they come up before the wrist so we have a very even spread between the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder, full engagement in the core, and of course a maximum engagement in the lateral head of the delt. All right, let's intensify the lateral raise, all right? Adding angle, we have a little bit of gravity to this movement, and next thing you know, you're gonna feel extra tension at the bottom of the movement where you wouldn't normally when you're standing straight up. So that instantly will increase that intensity when you haven't even started the movement yet. More time under tension, it means more results. Here I feel a very good engagement at the bottom. Okay, we pull through, you reach the top, you want to be pretty even across the board. Okay, we want to have a pretty straight line from one wrist to the next. That straight line is really important, so look in the mirror if you can to make sure that your head is in line with your spine. You don't have it tilted to the side one way or the other, but having that nice straight line from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet is super important. Trying to create that perfect angle from the top of your head to your feet and stretched across wrist to wrist. If you pull your core in, make sure you keep your head straight, and you get this angle right, you're going to feel, like I said, a maximum tension all the way from the bottom to the top. All it takes is adding that extra little bit of angle, and boom, gravity is your friend, my friend. Last but not least is the rear delt, aka the posterior deltoid. This is in the very back, and it acts on the shoulder joint. It's the prime mover in shoulder horizontal abduction. And here I'm going to start with a basic rear delt fly exercise. This couple key things, okay? We want to have a neutral spine, straight up. And this one I have my palms facing in. Elbows are up, super important, okay? Another really important component to this is making sure that the wrists don't go too far back. Once they do, you will wind up more in your traps than your rear delt. So we want to have about a 90-degree flow from the back to wrist to wrist. We want a 90-degree. We don't want the elbows to come too far back, or the wrists, obviously. Again, elbows up. And that is when you will find maximum tension in the rear delts, okay? So what do we want to do? We want to make this more intense, right? Of course. So we're gonna add a little bit of a lean. So to intensify this movement, I like to stand and lean into the machine, this time palms facing down. And when you go through this movement, again, maximum tension at the top with that position. When you pull back, again, really important. And this is one of the reasons I have my palms facing down, actually, because if the palms are facing inward when you're leaning, you're gonna definitely be in your traps. But with the palms facing down and the elbows coming no further than 90 degrees, we're in that sweet spot, that perfect range in which you're going to find that maximum tension in the rear delt, aka posterior delt.